This is the Unit 7 review. Question 1, find the perimeter of a rectangle with the given sides. And so let's talk about a rectangle. We've got a rectangle here. It's got a length, it's got a length, it's got a width, it's got a width. Perimeter means all the way around, so we're going to add up all the lengths and all the widths. So if it says it's got these sides, then that means one of them's a length and one of them's a width, and we need two of each. So we've got to have another 3x plus 2, and we need to have another 4x plus 1. And we add them together and we get 6x plus 4 and 8x plus 2, and then adding those together, combining like terms, 6x and 8x makes 14x, and 4 and 2 makes 6. So that would be our expression. Find the sum. That means to add together, so we're combining to like terms again. Like terms need to have the same variable to the same power, and we're going to add our coefficients. So 4x squared and 2x squared make 6x squared. Negative 5x and positive x makes negative 4x, and 2 and negative 7 make negative 5. The difference means to subtract, so we need to multiply this whole equation by negative 1. What's that do? That changes, all that does is change the sign of everything. So this would be a negative 2x squared, a negative x, and a positive 7. And then we can add these equations together. So that makes 9. Negative 5x and negative x make negative 6x. And 4x squared minus 2x squared makes positive 2x squared. 4, we're going to need to distribute. And we want this answer in standard form. So what standard form mean? It means highest exponent to lowest exponent, right? There's an invisible 1 here, and this is actually our constant, which could be x to the 0 power, 2, 1, 0, or highest to lowest. So let's say 4x times x squared, or sorry, 4x squared times x squared is going to make 4x to the 4th power. When we're multiplying, we add our exponents. Next we go to 2x, so 4x squared and 2x makes 8x cubed. And 4x squared times negative 3 makes negative 12x squared. 5, find the product, just means to multiply. So we'll FOIL this, first terms, 8x squared. 2x and 3 make 6x. Negative 1 and 4x make negative 4x. And negative 1 and 3 make negative 3. Add them together, 8x squared plus 2x minus 3. 6, find the product again. 3x times 4x squared makes 12x cubed. 3x and negative 5x make negative 15x squared. 3x and 2 make positive 6x. 2 and 4x squared make positive 8x squared. 2 and negative 5x make negative 10x, and 2 and 2 make 4. We add this together, we get 12x cubed. Negative 15x squared and positive 8x squared make a negative 7x squared. 6x minus 10x makes negative 4x, and plus 4 makes plus 4. Expand the expression. We can do this two different ways. Hopefully we can recognize that this is the pattern. This is the pattern, this is minus, so a minus the quantity a minus b squared makes the pattern a squared minus 2 ab, I didn't write the 2 in there, minus 2ab plus b squared. So if we think of it this way, that's just our first term. So what's our first term is 5x, so 5x squared would be 25x squared, 5x times 5x, right? The middle is 5x times 3. So what's that? That's a times b. 5x times 3 makes 15x, times negative 2 makes negative 30x. And b squared, or our second term squared, so 3 squared, would be 9, so plus 9. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to say, oh, well, 5x, the quantity 5x minus 3 squared means 5x minus 3. That quantity times the quantity 5x minus 3, just to do it twice. And here's where this pattern comes from. 5x and 5x make 25x squared. 5x and negative 3 make negative 15x. Negative 3 and 5x make another negative 15x. That's why we're multiplying their product times 2. Multiplying their product times 2. And then negative 3 and negative 3 make positive 9. So that's where the negative 30x comes from, because there's 2 of those. That's where the 2 comes from here. 8, find the greatest common factor. Well, we've got a 35, a 49, and a 14. I think 7 is the biggest number that goes into each one of those. And our number, or our variables, a to the 4th power, a squared, and a. So the most I can take out of any one term is just a, because that's the smallest one. I can't take out a squared from there because it's just a. Same thing here with b to the 8th, b to the 8th, b to the 5th, and b to the 4th. Well, the most I could take out of any one would be b to the 4th. So now if we were to say to factor this, it would be the same thing. It would be 7a b to the 4th, and now times what? So 7 times 5, a times a cubed makes a to the 4th, and b to the 4th times b to the 4th makes b to the 8th. Pretend that was addition in between there, not, not commas, so that would be 7 times 7 makes 49, a times a makes a squared, and b times b to the 4th makes b to the 5th. And then our last one would be 14, so 7 times 2, a, don't need another a, b to the 4th and b to the 4th, so just 2. 9, factor the polynomial. So the first thing I can see is that we can factor out a 2. So we'll say 2 times 2x. I can also factor out an x squared, so let's factor out an x squared. So 2x squared times 2x cubed makes 2x to the 5th. 2x squared times 4x makes 8x cubed, and 2x squared times negative 1 makes negative 2x squared. Solve the polynomial by factoring. So I'm looking for factors of 10 that are going to add together to make 7. Right? What are they? Well, that would be 5 and 2. So because my leading coefficient is a 1, my factored form would be the quantity x plus 5 times the quantity x plus 2. Right there. Because my leading coefficient is 1. So that equals 0. So then we use the zero product property. So x plus 5 equals 0. And x plus 2 equals 0. So x equals negative 5. And x equals negative 2. Same thing on 11, except we need to set it equal to 0 first, so this is the same as x squared minus 2x plus 8 equals 0. So now we're looking for factors of 8 that add together to make negative 2. So what are factors of 8 that add together to make negative 2? Do we have any factors of 8? Can I make a positive 8 and add together to make a negative? I'd need to have 2 negatives, right? And I can't have 2 negatives that only add to make a negative 2, so this is going to be not factorable. 12 factors of 20 that add together to make negative 9. Well, I'm trying to, again, multiply to make 20 and add to make a negative, so I need two negatives. Well, then that would be -5 and -4. Because my leading coefficient is a 1, those are my factors. The quantity x minus 5 times the quantity x minus 4 equals 0. Zero product property is going to say x minus 5 equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. So x equals 5 and x equals 4. 13, notice our leading coefficient isn't a 1 here. We're going to need to do a little extra work. First, I should have checked to see if I could factor out a common factor. 3 and 12 have common factor of 3, but 16 doesn't, so can't do that. 3 times -12 makes -36. So we're looking for factors of -36 that are going to add together to make 16. So I know I'm trying to multiply to make a negative, so I need a negative and a positive. So negative and a positive. And I'm trying to add to make a positive, so I need my bigger number to be a positive. So what makes and my bigger number obviously needs to be bigger than 16 because I'm trying to add to 16. So the only one I could have would be 36 and 1 and 18 and 2. So 18 and 2 it is. 18 and -2. So now because my leading coefficient is not a 1, I need to bring down my first term. So I say that's 3x squared. Two new b terms are -2x and a positive 18x. And bring down that last term, -12. We should notice we're still adding together to make positive 16x. We haven't really changed anything. We'll group our terms from here and now try and factor. So what can we factor out of this? Factor out an x, so that would be 3x minus 2. What do I want to have in this other parenthesis? I want to have another 3x minus 2, so I'll just write it in. 3x times what makes 18x? Well, 6. Does 6 times -2 make -12? Yes. So these are my factors. Because I have two of these, it's the quantity 3x minus 2, and then whatever I have on the outside, which is x and 6. That equals 0. Zero product property. 3x minus 2 equals 0. X plus 6 equals 0. So 3x equals positive 2. And divide by 3, so x equals 2/3. Or x equals -6. Or I guess and. Question 14. Same thing, set this equal to 0. 6x squared minus 11x minus 2 equals 0. Don't have any common factors, so I'm looking for factors of -12 that are going to add together to make -11. That would be -12 and positive 1. So 6x squared minus 12x plus 1x minus 2 equals 0. I group. 6x came from here, -2 came from there. Two new b terms became -12x and positive 1x. Now I'm going to factor out a 6x. So that would be x, and this would be -2. And I want to have an x minus 2, so I'll factor out a 1. X minus 2 times the quantity 6x plus 1 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. 6x plus 1 equals 0. X equals 2. 6x equals -1. X equals -1/6. 15. Ooh. Do I have a perfect square? Do I have a perfect square? Are they separated by a subtraction sign? Yes. First, can I take out a greatest common factor? Yes. Let's factor out a 4 first. So this would be 4 times the quantity 4x squared minus 9 equals 0. Now, do I have a perfect square? Yes. Do I have a perfect square? Yes. Are they separated by a subtraction sign? Yes. So that makes the pattern. Don't forget about our 4. 2x plus 3. This is the sum and difference pattern. 2x minus 3. The square root of that and the square root of that make up here, here, and here, and here. Negative 3 and positive 3 make negative 9. So our zero product property says 2x plus 3 equals 0 and 2x minus 3 equals 0. So 2x equals 3 and x equals 3 halves, or 1 and 1 half, and 2x equals, sorry, this should be negative 3, so that would be negative 3 halves, and over here 2x equals 3, so x equals positive 3 halves. 16. Let's rewrite this so it looks a little better. So this 9x squared minus 18x plus 9 equals 0. Let's factor out a greatest common factor of a 9. 9 times x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. And this is our this is our square of a binomial pattern again here, right? What are factors? Or can I take the square root of 1? Yeah, it's 1. Can I multiply it by 2? Yeah. Oh, it makes this. So I know that this, because of the square of the binomial pattern, this is going to make 9 times the quantity x minus 1 squared equals 0. So the zero product property, I've got 2x minus 1s. I only need to do one of them. X minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1. That means we cross it down. It just butts up against the x-axis there, right at 1. Our next one, negative 30b to the 4th. Okay, so I'm going to be able to take out a b squared, at least, and negative 30, 58, and 24. What goes into all of those? 2. I wish it was a bigger number, but I think that's going to be it. 2. So factor out a negative 2 here, so it makes our leading coefficient positive. So that would be positive 15b squared minus 29b and plus 12 equals 0. Same idea here. 15 and 12. Well, 15 times 10 would be 150. 15 times 2 is 30, so that would be 180. So factors of 180 that are going to add together to make negative 29. Ooh. Uh-oh. Well, 15 times 12 makes 180, right? And I need to add together to make 189. And 15 plus 12, or sorry, I need to multiply together to make 180 and add together to make negative 29. And 15 and 12 already add together to make negative 27, so I'm really close to it there. And still need to make 180. So, and I need to make a positive 180, so that would be, I need 2 negatives, so I need a negative and a negative here. Well, what's going to add to 29? Oh, how about 20 and 9? That adds to 29 and multiplies 2 times 9 makes 18, so that would be 180. So now I'm going to say 15b squared minus 20b minus, and I'm going to write a plus a minus, and I normally don't do that, but it'll make it so that I have a plus sign in between my 2 parentheses here in a second, and bring down the 12, and that equals 0. So now when we group, see how we have that plus sign in between. So now we're going to factor, so what factors out of here? So that would be a 5b times 3b, and 5b times negative 4, make negative 20. What do I want to have in my other one? 3b minus 4. And so that would be negative 3. So our factors are 3b minus 4 times the quantity 5b minus 3 equals 0. So 3b minus 4 equals 0. And 5b minus 3 equals 0. 3b equals 4. b equals 4/3, or 1 1/3. And 5b equals 3, or b equals 3/5, or about 0.6, or exactly 0.6. 18, the area of a rectangle is 2x squared plus x. The area of a rectangle is 2x squared plus x minus 15. What are the dimensions of the rectangle? So that would mean that would mean it just wants us to factor is all we need to do. So factor, sorry, I was having computer problems there. So factors of negative 30 that add together to make 1. So I need my positive number needs to be a little bit bigger than my negative number. So how about 5 and 6? So 2x squared minus 5x plus 6x minus 15. Group, factor out an x. 2x minus 5. Factors right in 2x minus 5. What am I going to factor out? A 3. So my factors are 2x minus 5 and x plus 3.